Amnesty, what do you have to do with this? I'll explain it to you. In 1955, black people were required to give up their seats on the bus to a white person. One woman, Rosa Parks, one day refused and was arrested for refusing to stand up. Her action led to the bus boycott led by Martin Luther King. Yes, this was the beginning of the movement against the injustices that the black population suffered. But what does this have to do with amnesty, Nicholas? The injustice against one woman became a milestone in a collective struggle. There it was, a bus. Here, it's a lipstick. Deborah, married, mother of 2 young children. Hairdresser, sentenced to 14 years in prison. Her crime? She wrote, "Lose the Monet" on a statue with a lipstick. But that you probably already know. The question that remains is, if she had written out with Bolsonaro instead of "Lose the Monet," would Moraes and Dino have sentenced her the same way? A person who has no image of herself inside the Congress, breaking anything, no violence. And worse, a cleaning staff member undid Deborah's coup d'etat with water and soap. Who poses a greater risk to democracy? A hairdresser with a lipstick or 15 drug dealers? Released by the Supreme Court? Everyone already knows the answer, but many are afraid to respond. And there is my point. When you treat an injustice merely as a number, you ignore that it is a person, a family that is suffering, and that you one day could be a victim of the same injustice. Unfortunately, we have many other victims. Eliane Amorim, 28 years old, a manicurist, arrested on March 22nd, 2023, almost 2 months after the events of January 8th in São Luís. Reason for the arrest? The accusation that she participated in the acts of vandalism in Brasilia. But to this day, no evidence has been presented that she broke anything, invaded buildings, or encouraged any kind of violence. One of the pages of the complaint shows that the only alleged participation attributed to her is the fact that she traveled to Brasilia. That's it. She has been imprisoned for 2 years. Giovanna, a sales clerk, 8 months pregnant. She arrived in Brasilia in the late afternoon of the 8th, between 5 and 6 p.m. That is hours after the chaos. She was arrested the following morning near the camp in front of the headquarters. The PGR admits that there is no evidence that Giovanna participated in the acts. One of the main witnesses, the bus driver who took her to Brasilia, who could prove that she arrived only in the late afternoon when the acts had already occurred, was not allowed to testify. Guess what? By order of Minister Alexandre de Moraes, Flávio Beltrão, 58 years old, homeless. He was imprisoned for 11 days in Papuda. Yes, a homeless person. How is this possible? Simple.